The Prison Doula Project was started, we had the first birth in the fall of 2010, and then we acquired funding from the Clinical and Translational Science Institute in the summer of 2011. And since that time, we've been systematically evaluating the Prison Doula Project, and that means we're looking at physical and mental health among pregnant women who are currently incarcerated at the Shakopee Women's Prison. We, as part of that, are responsible for looking at their birth outcomes as well, so women who participate in the program and how their babies are impacted by having a doula be there to support their birth. So as you can imagine, women who come into prison pregnant experience a number of risk factors, and we know that those risk factors put their babies at risk for long-term outcomes, long-term poor outcomes. The purpose of the Prison Doula Project is to support them in a very vulnerable time. So giving birth to a baby is obviously a very emotionally and physically stressful time, and prior to the doula program, women weren't supported in any way in their pregnancy if they were currently incarcerated. And so what the Prison Doula Project does is pairs a trained doula with an incarcerated woman and supports her. She meets with the woman at the prison twice, at least twice, prior to her labor and delivery, and then meets with the pregnant woman at the hospital and supports her throughout the labor and delivery, and then is there to support the woman when she returns to the prison and is separated from her infant. And so that piece is, of course, very critical and unique for this doula role, because most doulas support moms and see moms after they've given birth with their babies. But incarcerated women are returned to prison and babies are separated from them. And so this is a really critical role for supporting moms during this emotionally difficult time. In most cases, moms get between 48 and 72 hours after delivery to spend time with their baby, and then they're transferred back to the prison, and the baby will go with a caregiver that the mom has elected. In many cases, that might be the maternal grandmother. It could also be the baby's father, who is married to the mom or not, or partnered, but is there to take the baby and support the baby. One of the things that I think we've changed is thinking about how we can help moms on the inside improve the relationship with that caregiver. So you could imagine that the relationship between that caregiver, whether that be the mom's own mother or the boyfriend or the husband, that relationship might be strained while the mom is incarcerated. And so one of the things that we do in the context of our group work with incarcerated women is get them to think about how they can have a better relationship with the caregiver of their child. And think through kind of other creative ways that they can maintain relationships with their children in the context of their incarceration. So how can they write letters? How can they read stories? Why is that important for their children, depending on the age of their children? And so I think we've made some good modifications to the group in really thinking through how to creatively enhance family relationships in the confines of a prison. When I think about what we need from a direct service side, we really need a continuing funds to support the doulas who are on the ground doing the great work every single day. Writing grants for research projects is incredible, and the research is an important piece of the direct service, but we can't continue to do that unless we get support for the direct service. And so we have a number of moms who are currently pregnant at the facility and doula services that we would like to be able to provide them with, but don't have dollars to do that.